Hello, horror hounds. Welcome to my horror house. It's another live from the Overlook. Lockdown contained. A van has just pulled up outside to deliver a package. It's literally the most exciting thing that's happened in the street all day. I believe at the moment the package is being delivered. The van is blocking the view. These are incredible scenes here on my street, and now the van's pulling away. The package must have been delivered. We can only hope that there was a stout knock at the door or a ring at the doorbell and the package was left on the front door, and then the delivery person kept their own safety well in mind and took a good number of steps back to ensure that the householder could safely retrieve their package. What was inside that package, we can only guess at. Regina's joined us. Hi, Regina. Wow, that was compelling scenes there on my street. A van pulled up, stopped, someone got out and delivered a package to a house. I don't know which house. I couldn't see. The van was blocking my view, as I say, but truly the most exciting thing that's happened on the front half of my house today. The back half's another matter. There's a shared alleyway at the back, and the neighbours across from that, from us, are systematically dumping all of their stuff in the alleyway. That's a neighbourhood drama that none of you need to know about. Of course, I'm still in the bathrobe drinking. Regina, I'm channeling Jack Torrance. Hi, Lloyd. Little slow tonight. So, anyone watching and then watching this back will hopefully notice that the picture quality is significantly better than the first live broadcast I did, the test one, because after I did that, I said to my partner the next day, oh, I did a live, I tested a live stream, but the picture quality is really shitty. And she said, you do realise I've got a webcam upstairs, don't you? No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. But I thought to kill a bit of time, I might show you some of my horror drawings I did when I was much younger. I've been going through some lots of old stuff of mine and found a shit ton of my old drawings. I used to be quite the scribbler, and just thought I might do a little rogues gallery of some of my drawings. And what I've also done, actually, hi James, James has joined us as well, is it's actually fortuitous that Regina is here with us from Regina's Haunted Library, because I watched her latest video this morning, and that involved a Ouija board. And so completely unashamed to steal good ideas, I don't have a Ouija board, but my partner does have a tarot deck. So I thought to engage more with anyone who cares to be watching. If you want your tarot reading while we're live, I'll do it for you. I'll draw you a card and I'll read your tarot. I'm not skilled at that. I don't have any natural talent at tarot reading. But if you want your fortune read, I'm here to do it. Just shout me up in the comments and say that you want it. In the meantime, I'm just going to get on and show you some of my drawings, what I did when I was younger. Most of them are from 1991, so that was fucking almost 30 years ago. And I was drawing things like that. Yeah. And that was rubbish. And things like that, which I appear to have entitled "See No Evil." You can't see any evil, mate. You've got your eyes in your mouth and a nail in your forehead. One thing I have noticed about this excellent new webcam, which I am appreciative of, is that it's got one of those auto zoom things. So expect, if I'm holding stuff up to the camera, for this to be one of those videos that constantly shifts in and out of focus. Who's that? I don't know. It's a creature that I drew almost 30 years ago. How is everyone doing? I'm feeling a lot better than I have done over the last few days. I'll admit. I'm feeling a little perkier. What's that? Another picture? I've also got a photograph here of me when I was 11 that I found while I was digging through all of this nostalgic stuff. So if enough people want to see a really embarrassing picture of me, I'll hold it up. I'm not proud. I'm not proud. I did draw that 29 years ago. And do you know what? I'm not gonna blow my own trumpet all the way through this, but I think that's all right. I think that's all right. My medium, as you can tell, was A4 paper and ballpoint pen, or sometimes pencils. Here's an example of pencils. So yeah, I wasn't afraid to do pencil work. I did prefer working with the biro. You know, you just gotta commit, I think, and trust that any mistakes are there for a reason. Drawing something that you can erase if you make a mistake. That wasn't my vibe, guys. I just wanted to put what was in my brain down on the page. And Frightfully Forgotten's joined us. Very Cenobite stroke Clive Barker looking drawings there. Funny you should say that. An awful lot of these were probably directly inspired by Clive Barker, only significantly not as good. But who can be as good as Clive Barker? A lot of the time, not even Clive Barker, unfortunately. If you've read the Scarlet Gospels, you'll know what I'm talking about. For anyone who's just joined us, if you want a tarot reading live, shout me up and I'll draw you a card and I'll read your fortune. I have no skill in that. It won't be accurate, but hopefully it'll be fun. Would you be doing some new drawings now we're in lockdown, says JLB Zombie? Probably not. These stop around, they're mostly from 91 and 92. Then there are a few up until 96, and then they absolutely just stop dead. So I think it's fair to say my creativity kind of stopped dead about 20 years ago. That included drawing and that included writing. And but back in the day, this is a bit of a weird artsy one. Do you see what I've done here? Up in this corner, I put a star, and down in this corner, I put a fly. So what's the perspective on this object? Is it huge and far away, or is it the camera doesn't like it? Everyone's a critic, and here it seems that the camera is even a critic of this. Is it very far away and huge, or very close and very small? Who knows? I just drew the frickin' thing. This one, I actually, I quite like this one. What does it mean? Sorry, I have to keep poking around like a little bit of a Chad, a sort of what no milk, but otherwise I can't see whether I framed it right in the picture. JLB Zombie has said, yes, please, Andrew. JLB, does that mean yes, please, to a tarot reading? Because you can fricking have one. Grandmaster Gav 86. Kind of Space Harrier-esque. I don't know what that means. But if the 86 in your handle is the year you were born, I'm significantly older than you, so it's probably something cool I don't understand. JLB Zombie wants a tarot reading. Right. First tarot reading of the evening. I've got the deck courtesy of my lovely partner. I've got no skill at this. It's the Light Seers Tarot. And what we're going to do is I might refer to the reference book, or I might just vibe it. I might just improv off the picture on the deck to see. Oh my goodness! I've just realised I'm broadcasting live to 8 people who are now going to see how horrendously sausage fingered I am. I can't shuffle. Oh my god! I can't shuffle a deck of cards to save my life. They are pre-shuffled. Victoria, hello. Right. James, I'm going to riffle. I want you to say stop when you want me to stop. I won't be able to hear you, so I'm just going to stop when I want to stop, okay? Deal? That's your card. You have I don't know what this is, 3 of Pentacles. Right. I'm going to see what the book says, and then I'm going to see what I think as the mage in this scenario. Cooperation, community, teaching and learning, sharing and listening, teamwork. There is no limit to what you can manifest together. Now, the picture on this is of people doing a sort of tapestry of a traffic light. You've got the dude in the green shirt up the top, light brown hair, short-haired beard, and I'll be honest with you, he looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo to me. So he seems to be directing the whole affair. So I think what you should take from this is, in the spirit of Shaggy in Scooby-Doo, I think you should take his guidance. He should, for a little while at least, be your spirit guide. Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. What do we know about Shaggy? He loved his food. So treat yourself well to some really nice sandwiches. His best friend was a dog. And you can't get a better best friend than that. And if Scooby, who is, let's be honest, a fairly intelligent dog, he can speak, chooses Shaggy to be his boon companion, then that means that Shaggy is faithful, trustworthy, an excellent friend. I think Shaggy is also wise, because whenever they saw a ghost or a mummy or a Dracula or a skeleton, they always ran in the opposite direction. And I think in these straitened times, what that basically means is lock down, keep yourself safe. Don't go looking for danger. You don't need to do that. Like Fred, frat boy Fred, keep yourself safe and eat some really nice sandwiches. I hope that's helped, James. If anyone else wants a tarot reading, the deck is sat right here. In fact, why am I putting it in the box? I'm just going to keep it out. I'm really sorry for this zooming in and out, this camera. I don't know what I can do about that. Next drawing. See, Frightfully Forgotten, you can see I'm starting to basically rip off. Why doesn't it like that? Basically rip off Clive Barker. Ooh, I like this one. Let's see if I can actually... Oh, I should have started from the bottom. If I was going to give this a title, I'd call it either The Evil That Men Do or Head Fuck. Adam from Frightfully Forgotten wants a tarot reading, and then Victoria after that. So I don't know when you guys joined, but I professionally shuffled these, so they're already really well shuffled. And as with JLB Zombie, I'm going to riffle them. You say stop when you want me to stop. I can't hear you, so I'm going to stop whenever I feel like it anyway, because that's the way it works. Adam from Frightfully Forgotten. This is your card. It's the Ace of Swords. Man, that sounds metal as fuck. So let's see what the little book has to say about that. Of course, Ace of Swords, swords. Is Ace at the back or at the start? No, it's at the start. They count aces as one. That's wrong. New ideas, clarity, an aha moment. Truth revealed, awareness, and heightened states of consciousness, memory or thought, communication, victory, success, and triumph. A stroke of genius. So you're going to have, Adam, an aha moment, which means you're going to be sucked into a comic book strip where hastily drawn men in motorcycle helmets are going to chase you with batons, and you're going to need to protect a beautiful young lady, and then she's going to zhuzh out of the painting, the drawing, sorry, and then at the end of it, you're going to be bashing against the side of the corridor, and no one's going to mention the fact that this is ripping off Altered States by Ken Russell because it's such a great goddamn tune. The picture is of, wow, a sort of spiral staircase of the mind, with a shaft of light coming out of it, a crow flying out of it. Oh my God, if we go down into there, there's all sorts of signs and symbols there. Dude, I don't know what your personal situation or your personal preference is, but I think that your lockdown is going to be mind expanding. If you have any pizza with extra mushrooms on it, I think there might be some special mushrooms. Otherwise, I think that you're going to, while we're in this lockdown, you're going to go into the inner space. You're going to be you're going to be Dennis Quaid to our Martin Short, and when you come out, you're going to be much more refreshed and spiritually revitalized, and all the better for it. Right, the next reading was for Victoria. Before that, one more drawing. Oh, he's an ugly bugger. Does he look like he's maybe ripped off a little bit from Nightbreed? Yeah, probably, if I'm being honest. And that's just, I don't know, skeleton dog with his brains out in it. Don't know what that is. Right. Victoria. Regina is agreeing that Ace of Swords does sound like a metal band. Right, Victoria, it's your reading next. I'm just giving these an extra really amateur shuffle. There was a real pro shuffle earlier on, so it doesn't need a decent shuffle, just a ham-fisted. Say when, ooh, what's this? Well, obviously it's a tarot card. Apposite for our times. The Hermit. Look at this. Look, I don't even need to look in the book to see what the Hermit needs. Clearly, she's up there on her rocky outcrop, her precipice. Look, there's a lighting the way, so it's not unwelcoming. It's not foreboding. She's up there looking out across the vast expanse of the universe with an inner light warming her. I think we can probably all tell what that means. But in this little coronavirus lockdown scenario, Victoria, allowing for the fact that I don't have the gift and I can't use tarot cards, you're going to be absolutely fine. Glass of wine. Oh, James is complimenting me. We won't read that. That's nonsense. Oh, Victoria, you did miss your reading. You got kicked out. You did miss your reading. Yeah, you're the Hermit. Your coronavirus lockdown is going to be really quite blissful, peaceful, karmically wonderful. You can get the full reading, I don't know, at 17 minutes in. Oh, I'm sorry. It was a good one, though. It was a good reading. Let's have another picture. So back in 91, I was just... Oh, why is the light so bad? I was just creating monsters. Ooh. Zombie. So I've been... Oh man, why's the light so rubbish? This side? I've been... oh, it's better on this side. Much better. I've been a fan of horror since forever. And... Oh, Victoria, awesome. I'm Jimmy Page. Yes. Yes, you are. sitting on Aleister Crowley's throne. Cheers. And my mind was it was always full of horror. If anyone actually gives a toss, I never used to plan any of these drawings. When I felt the urge, I would just sit. So an awful lot of them I didn't finish. All of them, they're all sketches. I would just sit and let the muse take me as twirl. Oh, hello. Did someone say ripping off Clive Barker? I think they did. Couldn't help but in the early 90s. Who was the new kid on the horror blog in the early 90s? It was Clive Barker. Check out what I found during my nostalgic rummage. The Ladybird horror classic, Dracula. I think this was the first version of Dracula. I've read 3 versions of Dracula. I read this first, and then I read the novelization of the 70s BBC Dracula. And then around age 11, 12 at a book fair, discovered Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I didn't know. How would I know? This is days before the internet, and I was a stupid callow youth. I didn't realise that there was. I just thought that the Dracula book I'd read as a kid was Dracula. I didn't realise that there was this source novel, and I was flipping through it, going, "This is all diary entries and stuff. This is completely different." And I can vividly remember asking my mum, "Mum, can you buy me Dracula?" And she said, "You've already got Dracula." I said. And I had to explain to her, well, actually, no, I don't. I've just discovered that I don't have Dracula, and this is the original book, and it's completely different. Please, can you buy it for me? An awful lot of my formative horror memories are memories of me trying to persuade and cajole my mother into allowing me to have horror stuff. Mother! Rosenfield 10. Joe? Or Jim? Joe, I'm assuming. My first wife had a tarot deck, the Crowley design. Nothing ended well. Do you know what? I think I might be speaking out of school here, but none of the tarot readings I do tonight are going to be bad. I'm not that kind of asshole. If you're going to steal from anyone, always be from the greats, and Barker definitely counts. Victoria, yes, he definitely counts. Thank you. JLB Zombie, do you remember what got you into the horror genre? I have no idea. Quite a while ago, I did a series of videos called Horror Memories, basically eking back as far as I could and as young as I could get. And there was no impetus, no catalyst. So a little while ago, when I went to visit my dad, I sort of asked him, I said, I'm going back as far as I can, and I'm still there in the mode. I can't see anything that sort of set me off. And can you remember? Because I was clearly, I can't remember back that far. He thought perhaps it was the scarier Doctor Who episodes, and he twigged on that I was vibing a lot more with the scarier stuff and probably leaning forward rather than leaning back. So he just sort of, maybe, I guess, helped fuel that fire. But what was it in me that liked that over the more sci-fi stuff or the more goofy stuff? I don't know. I believe that I'm genetically predisposed to love horror. I don't know. It's like a lock and key. I was just it's like a lock and key with me in horror. And once you open that door, you know, a world of possibilities lie beyond. Paging Dr. Freud. I just think I've always been predisposed to like horror. It is my happy place. It is my comfort space. Here's another thing, right? I'm gonna sound like a massive twat here, but when I engage in horror and watch horror movies, especially horror movies that I really dig, new ones that I really dig, that really sort of fire up the receptors, take me mentally, I think, to a state which is closest to the dreaming state. Take me out of my conscious mind, much more than sci-fi does, more than comedy does, more than action and drama and the like. And I get a mental reset from engaging in horror the same way I would with a really good night's sleep. Now, that sounds really wanky, so it's time for another shitty drawing. There's me. So then I went through, I guess what we'll call my killer mantis period, because I then just kept drawing these mantis figures and these sort of overseer figures over and over again. Other horror fans, it's Joe. Hi, Joe. If you want a tarot reading from me that's not from the Crowley deck, shout out and I'll give you a tarot reading. If you don't, it's all good, man. Did you ever, as horror fans, think, oh, if I just flipped out and did something bad, the police would come and take one look at all my movies and one look at all my books, one look at all these drawings, go, yep. There's another sort of overseer character thing. And there's also my English homework there. English, Mrs. Lloyd. Read for half term, White Lies, Coffee for the Road, and Reunion. Can't remember any of those. I vaguely remember Coffee for the Road. I can't remember what the story was. I think they're all short stories. And then here's me just ripping off Clive Barker left, right, and centre. But you know, for my own, for no one else. This is really the first time anyone has seen these. Who's that? I don't know. He's a wrong 'un. He looks like an end of level. He looks like he would give Sonic the Hedgehog some grief in 16 bits. Ah, the lightning is my enemy. Curse you, sunshine. No, I like you, really. It's fine. We're cool. I might do a tarot reading for myself in a minute if no one else wants another one. Ooh, what's this? I'm using the entire frame. Look at that. See, I was going to give him crab hands and then decided not to. Oh, what's that? Yeah. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Spoiler warning. I was raised Catholic and sort of struggled with that for a long time. It's okay. I'm perfectly fine now. Some of this gets a little bit, well. Yeah. Oh, you asshole. Then straight back to ripping off Clive Barker. Yay, safe space. Joe, thank you very much. They're not exquisite drawings. I appreciate that. I'm only showing them as a thing to do because I just want to chat to you guys. I don't know if you joined late, Joe, but I've been digging around some old shit and came across these drawings that. Oh, here's a series. called the Clan. So I was. This will be my Clan phase. This is the. So when I was feeling extra pretentious, I would obviously I would give these drawings names. I would title them. Honestly, guys, if you'd have met me back then, I was a fucking pretentious. I was just fucking awful. I was so up my own ass. The Clan. Basically, a lot of bald, distorted guys in various poses of pain. Yeah, that's the Clan 2. The Clan 3 is this dude. No, how does he run? His legs are backwards. He's coming for me. Last Clan. The Clan 4. He looks happier. Look at the little Ken doll. Happy as Larry. How does he go to the toilet? No one knows. No one cares. Yeah. If there are any psychologists or psychiatrists out there, I don't want to know. I just don't want to know what any of that means. Oh, what's that? Raised Catholic, you say? Raised Catholic, you say? I'll give you raised Catholic. I think that was, so that was 92. So that was 28 years ago. I think the idea for that was Lucifer trying to escape hell. So that's where I was at. What are some of your school memories? I'm going to pour myself some more wine. JLB Zombie says, the Clan 2 reminds me of a more humanoid pumpkin head. Looking back at them after all these years, the Clan, this isn't Clan 2, but the Clan reminds me of Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Oh, hello. Hello. What's this? I drew some boobies. You see I fucked up one of the nipples. Probably came over all peculiar. Oh, this one's all right then. Yeah, I was just, apparently I was just into doing fucking distorted bald guys. Oh, look at that little Cronenberg sack womb thing down there. What does it mean? I don't know. I don't care. But I actually quite like that one. I'll be honest with you. I'm taking the piss a bit, but I quite like that one. Someone's paying attention, and it's JLB Zombie. And he said that he didn't think I could get another bottle of wine until Friday. Which I said in my first live broadcast. James, you're right. I did say that. I acquired some more wine. It's fine. Dude, the shop is right there. It's right there. And there was no one on the way there, and there was no one on the way back. My conscience is clear. But do me a favor, James, if you identify another sin of mine, just keep it to yourself. Or I found some more bottles in the cupboard under the stairs that I forgot were there. I should have gone with that. Fucking idiot. Cheers. Hey, Joe from Rosenfield 10. I knew I was a horror fan in 1975 when I was 4 years old. I was terrified of the makeup in The Exorcist. Mum told me it was fake. I was amazed. We in the UK didn't get to see The Exorcist in 1974. We didn't get to see The Exorcist in 1975. This could go on for a long time. You had to know someone who knew someone who knew someone who could get their hands on a VHS copy of it. It was essentially, to all intents and purposes, banned. The BBFC at the time, the British Board of Film Classification, the C stood for classification, but in actuality, it was censorship. If you're at all interested in this and you're across the Atlantic in the States, look up the Video Nasties debacle. It was just an absolutely censorious fucking. It was just made of bullshit. So I didn't get to see The Exorcist until I was much older, probably around 19, and then it was a VHS copy of a copy of a copy, and we were in the middle of our A-levels at the time. That's our version of your, I don't know, SATs? I don't fucking know. I only know about your education system through sitcoms. So I only know about SATs. Anyway, I was taking those exams. And, some days you didn't have exams. You were supposed to be revising, but a group of us got together and watched The Exorcist on a really sunny afternoon in a really bright and airy living room on a really shitty quality VHS. And I remember thinking, is that it? Finally, sense prevailed, and The Exorcist was, I forget which year, but it was made available for home release and actually came out on DVD. And I was a refusenik. I'm a technology refusenik on all levels. So it's kind of amazing that I'm even bothering to do this, because I don't even have any streaming services, because I want physical media. I'm that fucking caveman. But when The Exorcist came out on DVD, and I had my VHS collection, I bought the DVD of The Exorcist before I had a DVD player, because I fucking wanted it so badly. Finally, you were legally able to own it at home and have your own copy of it. I mean, this sounds fucking draconian. This sounds absolutely fucking ridiculous, but that was the situation as was. And so I was in my HMV, and the Exorcist was there, and you're goddamn right, I'm going to fucking buy. I've got no means of watching it. I don't have a DVD player, but I'm going to exercise my fucking right to buy and own The Exorcist. And then I got a DVD player and watched it again, and it's one of the scariest fucking movies ever made. If you've been paying attention. During this broadcast, I may have mentioned a few times my Catholic upbringing. I'm going to skip ahead to my Exorcist 3 inspired drawing. So as you can see, these sort of things were playing on my mind quite a lot. Oh, hang on. What's this? This is a picture called The Last... what the fuck's it called? The Last Drop of Water for a Dying Man, asterisk. I told you I was pretentious. Way down the bottom here. In hell. Last Drop of Water for a Dying Man in hell. Coming off a little leaf there into his mouth. And so, yeah, that kind of stuff was was on my mind, and I finally got to see The Exorcist on a decent home release, and then not long after that, it returned to the theaters, and I went to the cinema to watch The Exorcist. It's just one of the greatest fucking movies ever made. It's just on every fucking level. The Exorcist is one of the greatest movies ever made. William Friedkin is a kind of mad genius. I think William Peter Blatty is an avowed fucking genius. I mean, set aside the stuff he did with A Shot in the Dark and all his comedy work, Ninth Configuration, The Exorcist, Exorcist 3, Legion. I'm getting shivers down my spine because that man was on point. Little Exorcist ramble there. If anyone wants a tarot reading, shout out. I will read your tarot for you. I might take up Clarice's challenge and turn that to Hannibal Lecter and turn that view on myself and read my own tarot. Thanks, James. Regina, it must have made it extra fun, though, to get those black market copies. It did. It really did. I just wish I'd had the voltage, the electric fucking charge from seeing it for the first time that I should have got. But this is, I'm really sorry, but this is going to, there's no way to tell this anecdote without it being a little bit self-aggrandizing. But I remember we were in the sixth form doing our A-levels SAT, and I had kind of decided I really need to see the fucking Exorcist. This is bullshit. Can you imagine? So for someone who what had been 17, 18 at the time, an avowed horror hound. Just horror was my wellspring, and there being this movie out there. Now I know a lot of the banned movies are just shockingly bad, but there being this movie out there that had won Oscars that I was being told I couldn't see. One of the fucking keystones of horror cinema that I wasn't allowed to see. I mean, this is fucking bullshit. So I can remember one afternoon, I just said to my group of friends, we need to see The Exorcist. And I have no idea how we go about doing that. But all of us here, can I ask all of us here, if you all ask someone and then ask them to ask someone and ask them to ask someone, if anyone knows anyone who's got a copy of it. Now I'll hold my hand up. I've completely and utterly forgot who came through in the end. So this isn't a story about how I was fucking awesome and got my hands on a copy of The Exorcist on the black market, because I fucking didn't. I basically just cajoled a load of my friends into asking people and not stopping asking until one of them came through. So it's not me at all. But I was going to say the text came through, but it wasn't the fucking text. There was no texting. There was no mobile phones. The landline. What's a landline, Grandad? Well, when dinosaurs roamed the earth, you had to be in a certain building at a certain time to be able to speak to someone who wanted to be able to speak to you. And the house phone called, and it was one of my friends, and he said, I've got it. Let's round everyone up and we'll watch it. And rounding everyone up involved him agreeing, I'll call, bum, 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 bum. You call, bum, 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 bum. See what times they can do. So that's calling everyone individually. When can you make it? When are you free? When are you free? When are you free? Calling them back, trying to come up with some kind of consensus of the best, like how politics works now. JLB Zombie, I'm so glad you turned into a horror hound. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this amazing chat. Right, James, type something nasty so I can read it out aloud and karmically balance myself out. Because I'm just the guy who draws bald dudes with goat legs. That's all I am. I'm just the guy who draws bald dudes in contorted physical pain. I'm just the guy who draws fucking bald fucking things. Oh my God, I'm just the guy who draws bald fucking contorted demons. I think it's time for, how long have I been rambling? 45 minutes. Oy vey. It might be time. Jesus, there's so many more of these. I promise I won't go. Catholic upbringing, you say? Yeah, I'm afraid so. There's so many more of these. I just feel this is getting a little bit monotonous. Goat legs and bald dudes were very metal. Victoria again. Were you listening to Iron Maiden while reading Barker? I fucking love Iron Maiden. Or put it this way, I went through an Iron Maiden period. I won't have a word said against Iron Maiden. I can't speak too much of their later stuff, but since we're waxing nostalgic, I used to go to the local public library and rent music cassette tapes. Oh my fucking God. And so yeah, I rented the shit out of Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. That shit got played a lot. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. How does that go? Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Just fair trips off the tongue. Speaking of tongue, Whitesnake's Slip of the Tongue. Holy shit, did I rent that out of my local public library? Yes, I fucking did. Did I play the shit out of that? Yes, I fucking did. Is it Judgment Day on that song? Is it Judgment Day? Where David Coverdale and Whitesnake do their best Led Zeppelin. I don't even care. That's a great fucking song. Fuck yeah, Victoria. Look, who else but Iron Maiden is going to take Samuel Taylor Coleridge's The Rime of the Ancient Mariner and make a fucking metal song out of it? We would be culturally bereft without Iron Maiden. They wrote songs about Jack the Ripper, the fucking Rime of the Ancient Mariner, the Prisoner. I mean, just no stone left unturned. I mean, Run to the Hills, a song about the genocide of a native population. 2 Minutes to Midnight, a song about it being almost bedtime. Who else but Iron Maiden? Laughing at his own jokes, classy. Who else but Iron Maiden would stand at the pebble beach of rock and turn over every single one of them until they had illuminated the very last dark crevices of all that was metal? I love Iron Maiden. And I don't give a shit when those drums come in for a Run to the Hills. If you're not jumping up and down in your seat and throwing your horns into the air, then I don't want to know you. Unless you're at the bar getting me a drink and can't, or carrying my drink back from the bar and you would spill it if you were jumping up and down, in which case, yes, you're forgiven. JLB Zombie, I didn't get a chance to see The Exorcist until I was 18. I saw it for the first time on Blu-ray in its entirety. You know how good you have it. love you, James. I couldn't watch the film beforehand due to the sexual scenes. Blu-ray. Mate. Oh, what a brave new world with such creatures in it. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm here like a fucking granddad talking about pirated VHS copies and cassette tapes of Whitesnake's Slip of the Tongue that I rented from the public library. I'm so old. I'm so old. Victoria, me and my horror friends in high school were more into thrash, but I got into classic Maiden as I got older. I was sort of on the edges of that. Maiden, Metallica. So I was never cool and edgy. I was never thrash. I was very mainstream metal, but compared to my parents' music, that was pretty fucking far out. So I felt I was doing my rebellion right. But you're significantly cooler than me. It's only now that I'm sort of coming back round and appreciating an awful lot of the musicality in an awful lot of that music that I just wrote off. So what can I say? I'm a slow learner, but I eventually get. I'm the tortoise, I'm not the hare. Which, if fables have taught us anything, means that I win. I don't know. I've seen Maiden do their classic live. Oh, Victoria, gonna make me so jealous. I've seen Maiden do their classic live a half dozen times now. They're still amazing, but yeah, new records not as great. What was the one that had Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter on it, and Tail Gunner and Holy Smoke? That was the last one of theirs that I really got into and really dug, and that's probably even poo-pooed by a lot of their hardcore fans. But you've seen Maiden 6 times live? Wow. I'm going to raise a glass of wine to you for that, for 2 reasons. 1, I think that's fucking awesome. And 2, I was going to take a sip of wine anyway. So I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. That's cozy and firesidey, isn't it? Oh man, Maiden live. They're one of my bucket list bands. Victoria, again, did you see The Exorcist when it was back in theatres in 2000? It was amazing to finally see it on the big screen. Yes, I did. That was the first opportunity we got in the UK to see it on the big screen. So I went to it was packed out. But as you can imagine, some 26 years after, sorry about the camera, it was originally released, an awful lot of people were from the next generation after me, young people. So there was, and it was on a big screen, like hundreds of people in there. So at first there were a lot of titters and a lot of laughter, and especially when Reagan started getting possessed and her profanities and stuff like that, there was a lot of laughter, and I was getting a little bit peed off, to be perfectly honest. But the film lifted everyone up and took everyone along. It took a section, it took a demographic a little bit longer to get pulled along, but slowly the laughter and the jeers died down, and then it was just fucking pin drop. It's especially once the exorcism started. I'll never forget that when Damien finally just loses it, and he's like, I'm not a priest anymore, I'm a boxer again, and just starts laying into the demon. Come into me, that from down there where a lot of the laughter had come from, and where it had been silent for a long time. Someone went, yes! And I just thought, the film's got them. There were a lot of naysayers at first, but the film's got them. It was a fantastic experience. Very similar for us in the UK with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, by the way. A similar disgraceful story. The first time I was allowed to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre was when it was released again in cinemas. And I went on my own, and I thought, right, I think it was like a one day only or a long weekend. We're going to screen Texas Chainsaw Massacre because the bullshit ban has been lifted. And it was bullshit, by the way. At the time, the BBFC, British Board of Film Classification, Censorship, said we can't point to a single frame of this movie that were you to remove it, we would let the film be released. We can't point to a single frame of this movie that stops us from allowing it to be released. But we're not allowing it to be released because the consistent tone of threat and dread is just, you can't edit out what this film does to the viewer. I mean, it's insane. They practically said there's nothing in this film that breaches our guidelines. Yet, there's nothing you can do to this film which will make us agree to release it. I mean, it's insanity. This is George Orwell, freaking Kafkaesque nonsense, isn't it? Surely. So I finally got to watch it when it was re-released in cinemas here in the UK, and wow, I almost and I never do this, but I almost walked out. The final act is such to me now. It's like Beethoven. If you turn the visuals off and just listen to the sonic landscape of screaming, shouting, chainsaws, just the utter cacophony, the aural assault that is relentlessly coming at you, just like Beethoven's Fifth, just like a fucking orchestral symphonic juggernaut. I was honestly getting to the point where I thought, if this carries on for too much longer, I can't take it anymore. This film is too much. It's finally brought me to my limit. I stayed, and there wasn't much of the film left, but I've never felt more uncomfortable in my own skin watching a horror movie. It's a masterpiece. Tobe Hooper was a fucking genius. As with George A. Romero before him, he rewrote the rules of cinema with Texas Chainsaw Massacre and what was possible. It's one of the greatest works of cinematic art. One of the greatest works of cinematic art, alongside things like The Godfather and Taxi Driver, which get name checked all the time, is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What a fucking ride that movie is! What a fucking ride! And Tobe Hooper had enough sense to realize, and I know Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 has had a rocky ride, and people are starting to come back round to it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, to my mind, is like Joe Dante's Gremlins 2. Joe Dante and Tobe Hooper both had enough sense to realize that when you have a perfect vehicle, Gremlins is perfect. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is perfect. The only thing that you can do to sequelize it so many years later is to parody it. Everything that was subtext in Gremlins and Texas Chainsaw Massacre suddenly becomes text. Both sequels almost become spoofs of the original, and everyone else with Texas Chainsaw Massacre who has since tried to catch lightning back in the bottle. And a couple of one, the Platinum Dunes remake, I can't believe I'm going to say this, is a good film. It's not Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's not a game changer. It's a glossy Jessica Biel Platinum Dunes movie, but it's pretty solid. Everyone else has been trying to recapture the magic of Texas Chainsaw. You can't do that. Which is why I fucking love Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, because it's just, to me, it seems like the bastard cousin of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I know it's fucking ridiculous, but it knows it's ridiculous. It knows that the idea of trying to be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is preposterous. Victoria, first time I watched TCM, I rented it with friends when we were teenagers, had nightmares of Grandpa sucking blood from fingers that night. I was so worried about Leatherface, but he creeped me out. I can imagine, but I can also imagine living in the land of the free, where you can actually go to a rental store and rent the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as we should have been here. But there you go. And Victoria loves TCM too, as all right-thinking people do. I mean, who wouldn't? Oh, she means the remake. She likes the Vicky, be clear. Do you like TCM 2 as well or not? I like the remake, but do you like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2? It doesn't matter. I think I'm running out of steam here. So if you have any burning questions, type them real quick. Otherwise, I'm going to not show you any more pictures, but I'm going to do my own tarot reading. I'm getting tired. Are you allowed to? I don't know if I'm breaking some sort of code. Are you allowed to? Of course you are. You can draw your own fucking deck. King of Wands, ladies. Look at that motherfucker. Now, how about this? You see that lion there? That's what my surname means. That's what my surname is derived from, lion. So this is clearly, I'm clearly the King of Wands. What the fuck does that mean? We have to go to the... oh no, we don't. Wands. We haven't been to the Major Arcana. Major Arcana. King of Wands, an entrepreneurial spirit. I ain't got no fucking money. A natural born leader. Don't follow me. Ideas that can be ultra successful. No. I gave up on all of that. A creative visionary. I think I've just proved over the last hour I've been just ripped off Clive Barker. Timelessness, success, fire. Victoria has clarified she likes 2 but not the remake. That's good. That's fine. I don't know how to sign this off. I don't know how to finish this. I should have had an ending planned. I'll just fucking half-ass it. I'm going to put tarot cards away. Where's the fucking box? Oh, I think I've had a bit too much wine. Here's the box. Oh, if you've made it to the end and you're still here with me, I do have one more thing to say. I'm going to need a wee bit of wine to say it. Won't take long, I promise. Where the Sorry about this auto zooming camera in and out thing, pissing me off. It must be hell for you. Right. If you've ever considered donating a wee bit of money to my Patreon page, then don't, because it doesn't exist. Instead, what I want you to do is take that, $3, $5, and just treat yourself to something nice, something small, something nice. The fancy chocolate that you normally pass up, the bottle of wine that's a tenner rather than $5.99. Just something that you normally say, the good cheese that you normally say, oh no, I won't have that, I'll just have this. No, guys, have that. This one time, if not now, when? Have that nice thing. You've earned it. Be safe. Be kind. I'll see you on the other side. Oh no, that sounds dark. No, I didn't mean that. I'm staying on this side. We're all staying on this side. Just be well, be safe, and live by, what the fuck am I? Jesus. Do what you want. Just be nice to one another. Don't be a dick. And I'll try and be the same. I'll see you. I'll see you again soon. Treat yourselves. You're fucking worth it. Thank you for keeping me company in this lockdown mode. I will see you again soon in, yes, Regina, in my frickin' dressing gown.